Make, N8N, and there's another tool called Zapier. They have actually built a connector for all of these tools that we use out there. Gmail, email, Google Drive, Salesforce, any CRM, any accounting system that you think of, you can just select the system, drag, and then connect this system with another system, and it can actually work. One of my favorite tools that I use for managing my emails and calendar, what it does is it can integrate with your Gmail and it can integrate with your Outlook. It reads your email and then label them accordingly in terms of whether this is an email that you need to respond, or is it some auntie or someone in your office. But what it also does, it actually goes into the email, reads the email, and then creates a draft. So when I wake up in the morning, I already have a draft ready for all of the emails that I actually need to respond to.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Dumb Monkey Show. We're going to continue our conversation from before because we were having so much fun that we wanted to hang around and have it this week instead of next week. So Aamir Qutub, welcome back.
Thank you.
And for anyone who hasn't caught up on the last conversation, you are the founder of Enterprise Monkey, the founder of the Dumb Monkey Show, and you were talking us through implementing agentic AI and automations into business and workflows. So we talked about marketing and sales and accounting and going through to delivery. And now we want to talk about, okay, well, how do we do that? So we're going to strap on our AI tool belts.
Absolutely.
And get into the workshop. Tell me.
Sure. So there are some automation tools that are available, but there are some tools that have been developed by people, and there are some of those tools are like really amazing. You can just subscribe to it and start to use it, and they just work for you.
And these are really great for people who are not coders and probably not even tech people.
Not
really,
even
you don't
tech
need
people,
to be
not
particularly
at all.
technical.
Yes. So like
we can all be dumb monkeys. We can play with these.
Oh, yes, 100%. So one of my favorite tools that I use for managing my emails and calendar is called Fixer, F-Y-X-E-R, Fixer.ai. What it does is it can integrate with your Gmail and it can integrate with your Outlook. It reads your email and then label them accordingly in terms of whether this is an email that you need to respond, or is it some auntie or someone in your office,
or is
just
it one of those
CC'd
wonderful
you.
chat? You know, one of those group emails that comes through and it's come through as part of a conversation, and you probably need to be aware of it, but you don't really need to do anything about it.
And I receive a whole lot of these emails every day, and so it says, okay, this is just FYI, and they call that label FYI. This is something that you need to respond to. This is an events, emails, a meeting email, and so on.
Well, this one's really important. The boss is getting in touch. They're not happy. Be aware.
Yes. So it labels it, but what it also does, it actually goes into the email, reads the email, and then creates a draft. So when I wake up in the morning, I already have a draft ready, sitting for all of the emails that I actually need to respond to. Then I can check the draft and say if the draft is fine, I can just send it, or I can make the tweaks. And every time I'm making a tweak, it's actually learning and seeing what it did wrong and it's going to improve itself. The beautiful thing with that is that if you use like Gemini by Google in Gmail, the tone is not there. But because Fixer actually reads all of your email, it understands your tone. So the tone is very accurate. You can tweak that tone over there as well. If someone is asking for a meeting, it actually checks my calendar and then automatically drafts an email with suggested times, or if I'm not available at that time, it comes up with new times and so on. So it's actually checking my calendar, and if someone confirms the meeting, it can actually lock that event in my calendar as well.
The same question that we always ask when we're talking about AI, and particularly the models that they are trained on, the information that they're trained on. We're talking about work emails. I'm assuming there's some sensitive information in there. How do you know what about Fixer lets you feel comfortable that you can trust it, that you're not handing over your IP?
So what I would say is, if you're using Fixer on your work email, definitely get it approved from your organization. That's important. What it's actually doing is that it's not storing any of the information in its own servers. It's an AI agent. It's actually coming to your email, reading that email, labeling it, and then if it's drafting the response, doing it then and there. But it's not actually sending any of your information and storing it somewhere. So that's how it's fundamentally different.
Mhm.
It's still a US-based tool, so it's not Australian-based.
Mhm.
So in my organization, we have assessed the risk and identified, okay, there are some risks attached, but still we are confident that it's not going to leak the information as such. So the risks are there, but they are manageable risks.
Mhm.
So that's why I feel confident in using a tool like that.
But it's a really good point.
Yeah.
I mean, these are fantastic tools, but don't just go out and roll them out and start using
That's
them.
right. Yes.
Raise the flag and say, hey, look, I think this could
Yeah.
help with our business. Is this something that we can use?
And if you're a small business, then what I did with Fixer is I took the privacy policy and terms and conditions, gave it to ChatGPT and said, this is what I want to adapt. What are the red flags? What are the things that I need to be aware of? And gave me the red flags. And I said, okay, I'm happy with this. I'm not happy with this. And then how I make a decision about any tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, actually.
Yes. So that's one tool that I regularly use. Now, for automations, I have also already mentioned this make.com, M-A-K-E, make.com, and there's another one called N8N. Now, there's so many videos that are available on YouTube through which you can use it. But we have got a course on the Dumb Monkey Academy that you can look for, and you can actually learn how to do automations as well. But it's a very intuitive platform. So you will actually start to use it. You will learn it very quickly. I would say initial learning curve would be like one or 2 weeks. But once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to build the automations.
Fantastic. And you'll put the links to these tools at the bottom of this episode.
Yes.
So people, if you're looking for them,
absolutely,
don't worry, we'll make it easy to find.
That's right. But also, if you can't do it yourself, then you can go to upwork.com. Upwork is like a freelancing website. You'll find so many automation builders, or you can just do a search for an AI automation agency in your area. You'll find a lot that can do that for you. It's not as expensive as building like full pieces of software.
Yeah.
It's a simple process. You can get someone, engage them for a few weeks to do it for you, and then you have an automation that's there. Then you can continue to refine and use. Coming back to the tools, another of my favorite one, which we have talked a lot about in the podcast, is Perplexity.
Yes. So tell me about Perplexity. Let's dig into the history of Perplexity a little bit before we go too much further, because it is one that comes up a lot.
Yes.
So developers, why it was made, why it's great.
So it was developed by a team in the US, and they identified that the ChatGPT was great, but it was giving you information from the time it was trained on. So it was not current information. But a lot of information that we need is something that's current. So people were still using Google search. So what they did was they took the ChatGPT, the power of ChatGPT and the power of Google, and mixed it. So Perplexity is basically an AI-based search tool. Now, if you think about it, we think, okay, that's fine. But the things that you can do with it is next level. So it actually makes the whole process of doing any sort of research easier. But if you are stuck, like if you are trying to solve a problem, or if you are trying to fix your car or doing anything like that, if you would ask ChatGPT might have that information or might not have that information. But if I ask Perplexity and give it the model number of the car or whatever it is, it's going to go look for the right manual, look for the right information, fetch the information, and then give it to me in a natural language and easy to understand language. So, which means that any information that's out there on the world, whether it's ChatGPT or Claude are trained on it, or whether it's on the internet or on the social media or on LinkedIn, wherever it is, it can look at any information in the world and provide me that information just by asking a question in natural language.
Yeah. And it's a really valuable conversation, I think, to have, because, you're in the space of looking at all of these models and as they've developed, and you've tracked them really closely. But people who are business people or have been busy doing their own thing have not necessarily been following the flow of where these different models were developed. And of course, they're developing and specializing at the rate of AI. So
That's
being
right.
able to stay up with what's valuable, what's used, and I think they've all got value in their own way.
Yeah.
But understanding more about how they've been developed, why they've been developed, what they are used for, and what they are useful for, I think is a really good chat to have.
So if you ask previous versions of ChatGPT or Claude, like what's the date today, or how's the weather like today, it wouldn't have that basic common information because it was trained previously. So sometimes when you would ask it to create a content, it would put 2023 or 2024 in there.
Or it would just hallucinate because it didn't have the information.
That's right.
And hallucinate in the terms of how we mean as an AI word.
Yeah.
In that if it does not, these models are trained to have an answer. If they can't find the answer, they're going to make one up. And that's where we get what we call hallucination.
Yeah. But with Perplexity, if I'm investing in stocks, I can get it to watch stocks for me, find all of the information.
Yeah, you don't want information from 2022 in your stock price. That's not going to help.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be helpful today.
Yeah. Because Perplexity can pick up any real-time information from the web and can provide you with that information. It's not just a search engine. You can set up schedules on there. It has got a deep research feature where you can say, hey, this is my organization. This is what we are looking to buy. Give me a list, give me a comparison, it can do that for you. And they've got something called Perplexity Labs, where you can say, do an analysis and build me a full dashboard with the analysis. It will give you a full-fledged dashboard that you can look at. So the tool and what you can do with it is amazing. They have come up with a browser now, which is called Comet, COMET. It's like Google Chrome, but it's an AI-enabled browser. What it means is it can look at your screen, it can perform actions on your screen. It's like someone sitting beside you and you're saying, hey, can you do this for me? Can you open my email, check all of the emails, summarize them or whatever? So it can perform any action on the browser for you. And that's just like unlocks the opportunities for you.
It's a huge opportunity. Yeah, it's basically giving you an assistant, isn't it?
That's right. Yes.
So you don't want to clone yourself. You just want to use Perplexity. But the cost base for using these tools?
So Perplexity is free to start with. And then there's a pro version, which is, I think, $20 a month. There's a max version that I use, which is $200 a month. But I think for most of the use cases, pro version is more than it. Like it's really good.
And the advantage of using pro over free?
I think pro gives you more advanced, more detailed searches. Free give you good searches, but it's not sometimes that deep, or I think there's like some limit on the searches. I would say with Perplexity, you can start with the free version because you're not providing your information to it. You're asking it to search for information.
Yeah, which is different to the ChatGPT. And that's an important difference for people to remember. ChatGPT free version, it's going to be using your information. So it's exactly the case of if you're not paying for it, then you are the product. So well worth paying for the pro version if you're using GPT. But then if you're using Perplexity, you can start for free and it won't have an impact on your data.
That's right. So now we look at some of the other tools. So when I was doing this workshop with the startups, we said, okay, let's create a business plan. We created it using ChatGPT. It said you need to do some research. We did it with the help of Perplexity. Awesome. Now we needed to build a pitch deck. So you use a tool called Gamma. GAMMA. And Gamma is a tool where you can just put a prompt and can create a full presentation for you.
What's design style like?
They've got so many themes, but you can choose your own style guide and it can create images. You can create some really amazing slides out of that.
So can you put your own branding?
You can, yes.
Fantastic. Because that's really important. We don't want to lose the sense of people maintaining their brand values, maintaining their professionalism.
Yeah, so you can put the whole style guide in there and then can create the presentation on the basis of your style guide.
Yeah, cool.
And it can now create documents. So if you want to do white papers or brochures, social media, sort of carousel posts, it can create websites as well on a very basic level. But in terms of creating presentations, it's just at the very next level.
And that's something that a lot of us have to do.
Yes.
In our workflows, that's one of the things that pops up. You need to do another presentation.
Yeah. Now, if you are using Microsoft, then Copilot for PowerPoint also provides a very similar functionality where you can set up a template for your presentation and then use a prompt to create a presentation. Or you can attach a document, say, create a presentation from this document, and it can do that for you. So that's great from the presentation perspective. Now, for the business, we needed to develop a minimum viable product or a prototype or a website. So then we went to Lovable, which is a no-code app builder. There's another one called Replit. There's another one called Bolt. Yeah. These are three great tools, but Lovable is the most easier to use. You can go on Lovable and say, hey, can you create this app for me? Define the app or define the landing page, and it will do the work in the background and create the app. Now, caution is that those apps would not be like, especially if you're getting users to put their information and so on, they would not be 100% market ready, but it's really good for prototype. But if you're building a static website or a simple landing page, really amazing for that. But what you can also do is if you can start with that tool, build a good prototype, and then engage a developer to do further work. Then we had to create a logo for the brand. So one of the amazing image generation tool is Nano Banana. That's the one that we were talking about. So Google has come up with this fantastic image generation tool, and it is extremely, extremely powerful.
It is incredible. Highly recommend for anyone who hasn't had a play with Nano Banana. Please do it. Not only is it so much fun to say, who doesn't want to, get up there and have a play with Nano Banana and make images? But there was a whole thing there for a while about the rumors that were swirling around Nano Banana, and was it real and was it just some, deep fake story that had been pushed around the internet? But of course it was very real, and it is so cool. The image quality is amazing.
Yes. And I was speaking in a conference with architects. So I took a 2D plan of my home and I uploaded it to Nano Banana and said, create a 3D model out of it. Created a 3D model with the furniture and everything in there. And I said, create a facade. How would my house look like from here and this angle and that angle? And the amount, the renders that it can do for you are just next level.
Yeah.
Have you seen people posting their photos with the celebrities?
Yes.
Yes. And that's a great. So it can actually, this is the first model that can take your photograph or you take your image, and rather than regenerating it, it can actually add to it.
Yes. And which is A, really cool, but B, I'm going to put a content warning in there for everyone in there. Please, as with anything else, particularly when you're using images or video, and this definitely goes for Nano Banana as well, if you're uploading an image onto it, you need to actually own the image, or you need to have permission to use it. So you can't just go and grab an image from wherever. It's someone's copyrighted image. It will get you into trouble. There are warnings on the site, but please be mindful that if you are using images. But it is really cool. So I did this, I think it was only yesterday, and I grabbed a historical artist that's out of copyright, and I uploaded the example of them, a photo of me, and I think you can upload sort of up to, say, 3 images. So I got it to take a photo of me, put it into a pen and ink drawing, and to completely change the background of that image, and it did such a beautiful job.
Yeah, and it's wonderful to see how quickly it can do that. I think it takes like few seconds for it to do that.
Yeah, it's really quick. So it's like some of those cool images of, say, your kids where they have wings coming out behind them and they've stood in front of a public artwork, and you can actually take that same image and make your kid fly. It's cool.
Yes. And my sister, she runs a skin brand and she's currently doing rebranding and everything. So we were sitting and she was talking about how she's got some concepts and she wants to change the packaging and everything. I was like, I opened up the Nano Banana and took the photographs of her current product and said, and she was saying that she likes this another brand. So I actually took the photograph of their bottle and said, reimagine her brand on these bottles. I just did it. And she was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And her husband, my brother-in-law, who's sitting over there, is very non-technical. He's a doctor as well. So he was looking at me and he was like, Saba, why are you paying your graphic designer to all of this money if he's able to do it in 30 minutes? And I said, you still need that graphic designer to do the research and do the final renders.
Absolutely.
But such a fantastic tool.
And to give you then a product that can be yours.
Yes,
and branded and
that's
owned
right.
by you.
But for brainstorming and coming up with the ideas and the
creativity
concepts.
is so cool.
Because then I said, okay, put this product in a hand of a model. So it sort of created the model and sort of had created an ad for that.
So in this example, what you're saying is that you can use Nano Banana, play with a whole lot of concepts, get to things that you actually like, and then use that as your brief. So then you can take that to your graphic designer, and it saves all of that thought process and all that uncertainty of going, am I asking for the right thing? And I'm not sure what I should be saying.
Yeah.
You can actually visually see it, which makes all the difference in the world.
But also you can now use it to create Facebook ads or social media images as well. So you can take a product and say, imagine it, a model, 35, 40 years using it. It's going to create an AI generated model, which means you can own it, but with your product in their hand.
Yeah.
And then I said, imagine this on the billboard on a busy Melbourne street. And then it did that and said, okay, she always wanted to take her product to Dubai in one of the showrooms. So I asked Nano Banana to do that, and it actually placed her product over there. She was like, oh my God, you're making all of my dreams come true. So now you can visualize those things. You can imagine those things. But from a business perspective, you can now create these amazing ad creatives and test them and roll them out. Earlier, it used to take a whole lot of time for you to do that.
Yeah.
Then I took that creative and gave it to another tool called VO3.
Yes.
VEO3 by Google, which is a video generation tool. And I said, create a video out of this image.
It's another one that's great fun to play with.
It is, yes. It can actually, it can take a static photo and add animation into it.
Yeah.
So again, a great tool for creating videos. There are people who are creating like full ads through these models by stitching the videos together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So some great tools over there for image generation. There are like this ChatGPT image and some of the others ones, but I prefer Nano Banana. For video generation, there's VO3, which is really good. If you're serious about playing with this stuff, there's a tool called Higgs Field that actually allows you to test with different models like image generation and video generation and bring them together. So it's a great tool for doing that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. That sounds super cool.
Yes. What else? So we talked about image generation, video generation, app development. If you're not sure and about whether there's a tool that exists or not, there's a website or there's a tool which is called There's an AI for that. So it says there's an AI for that.com. You go over there and there's a functionality which is an AI bot where you can say, hey, I need a tool for this, and can find a tool for you to do that.
Someone very clever has gotten onto that one and just said, this is what we need that.
They describe themselves as like it's an AI tool that can help you find AI tools.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a couple of other tools that we talk about, of course, are when businesses are looking to put automation into their practice and into their workflows. So talk to me a little bit about Make and N8N and a bit of the background of those tools, how people use them, what each of them is specifically used for.
So Make and N8N are exactly, I would say, very similar tools. They are a process orchestration tool. They came out when AI did not exist, and the purpose of that was to be able to connect one system to each other, to integrate. So you know how if you have to connect one system to each other, each system has got an API connection, which is their way of talking to third-party systems. So earlier you had to actually build a connector between the two systems, read their API documentation. What Make or N8N, and there's another tool called Zapier, what they have done is they have actually built a connector for all of these tools that we use out there exist. So whether it's like your Gmail, emails, Google Drive, Salesforce, any CRM, any accounting system that you think of, they already have all of these applications that they have integration with, which means you can just select the system, drag, and then connect this system with another system, and it can actually work. Now, with the help of AI, what they have done is they have said, okay, now in this process, you can introduce ChatGPT modules or Claude modules or Perplexity modules so that they can do the decision making and do the work. Earlier, what used to happen was the automation would be if there's a task allocated, then send an email to this person, because that's a simple thing.
Yeah.
But now with the help of ChatGPT, you can say if a task is allocated, think how important that task is, what you need to do, customize the email, send an email, but send an audio message to this person as well. So these tools are very simple to subscribe to. You can start for free on Make and N8N both, and start creating an orchestration, and then they charge you on the basis of the usage of how much you are using them. One good thing with N8N is that for enterprises who do not want, again, their data to be in a US-based servers, you can download N8N on your own server.
Okay, great.
Or your Azure or AWS, and have everything centrally managed and localized. So for a lot of our clients who want to have automation, but they don't want to share the information, we are doing that for them.
Yeah, and that's really important because we can all get really excited with all the possibilities that you can do of playing with these tools, but we need to remember at the end of the day, data protection is only going to be more important.
Yeah.
Every single day it becomes more and more important. So reminding people to be really mindful of what's happening and how they're using these tools, and then what are the potential risks.
And if you
as
are
well.
a student or someone who's looking for a job change, in next couple of years, every organization would have these AI automation experts or AI orchestrators inside the organization. It's a great business to start as well, but because every organization would have so many automation, they would need someone in-house to manage them and run them.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a great career opportunity for someone to tap in.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Absolutely.
In US, you've got like these 16, 18-year-old kids who are earning like some great amount of money just by running this simple AI automation agencies.
Fantastic. We need to wrap this conversation up because I've got a 17 and 18-year-old at home, and I need to get home and get them working.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a really great start. Are we missing any tools? Is there anything else that's really cool that you?
We will actually, we have got a list of around 50 tools on the Dumb Monkey AI Academy that we have curated. I'm going to share the link of the list, and there's a very fantastic resource. You can keep talking about tools. There are a lot of tools out there, but the best way to look for a tool is, as I said, there's an AI for that. But also just go on Perplexity and say, I am looking for an AI video generation tool or video editing tool. Again, video editing, there's a lot of AI tools as well. Evaluate all of the tools and give me the best one based on the reviews from the people. It will give you the list and you can go and try it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to do it. And as with all of these things, the best time to start using them is now.
100%, yes. And they don't require any learning curve because you can just subscribe to them and start to use them. And most of the these subscription are free, or they've got a trial version. So you can just start to use them and see how you go.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Aamir. This has been a really fun chat. I'm looking forward. I'm actually going to start using a little bit more of this in my world.
Yes.
And I will tell you how I go. I'm sure it's going to be the topic of conversation in plenty of future episodes.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for joining us on the Dumb Monkey Show. I hope that you've got some really interesting knowledge that you can take into your businesses, or at least start having some conversations, and absolutely get in there and start trying to use some of these things. So thank you, Aamir, for your insight and for stepping us through how we can start to automate more. And I'm really excited to automate more because, my word, there's some things that I'd really like to not have to do. And please come back and join us again on the Dumb Monkey Show.